Welcome back to RS Insider. My name's Tanner. Today we're going to be talking about the 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI. This is my personal car. I've been really excited to get one of these, and we're going to cover my 5 favorite things on the car. So let's get into it. So I got this car a couple of weeks ago. I've put about 1,500 miles on it, and I've been waiting to make our first video just so I could really get some good first impressions and really figure out what I like and don't like. And we are gonna make a 5 things I don't like about this car. There's been plenty that has been covered on that topic by most automotive journalists, and that actually held me from buying the car in the model year 22 and 23 iteration. But you know, after waiting, I originally was thinking that the 24 was going to be an update where they were going to make some revisions to the interior. When I found out it wasn't, I just didn't want to wait any longer. I really wanted to get a GTI, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to trust Volkswagen that they've improved the car a little bit and made a good car. And honestly, I'm really glad I did. Like I was saying, pretty much every automotive journalist really talked negatively about the interior of the car and the usability of the infotainment system and the climate controls. And really, it kind of made me nervous, but honestly, we'll cover it. I haven't really found much issue there, and I'm glad I did. With 2024, it is the last year to get a manual transmission. I got a DSG. I do a lot of commuting to work, and I think it would have been exciting if the main purpose of the car was just to be a fun car to have gotten the manual, especially because with it being the last year of the manual, I do think the values will hold really strong. But overall, really happy with the car, and this is 5 things that I really like about the car. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about that I've really loved about this car is the performance and the handling of the car. I'm coming from a 21 Volkswagen GLI, and you know, that was a nice car, but man, it does not compare in the handling, the engine response, and even the sound of the new GTI. I've been really impressed with just how agile the car is through the corners. It doesn't have that traditional front-wheel drive, understeer, or unwillingness to turn. The engine is really responsive. It pulls hard to redline. I really like that they've been able to bring some sound to the engine. There is definitely some fake sound when you turn on the sport mode, but with that fake sound, there's also some real crackles and pops that come from the exhaust, which honestly is a nice addition for a car of this price point. Overall, I'd say with the performance of the car, it's been my biggest notice of difference between my GLI and this is just how capable it is. And honestly, it's a blast to drive up a canyon road, but also extremely comfortable when I'm commuting to work. I'd say the number 2 thing that I've been really surprised by is how good the sound system is. In my GLI, I had the Beats sound system, which honestly wasn't that great. If I took everything out of the door bins because they weren't felt lined like these ones are, you would have a okay sound system, but if you had anything in the door bin, it would rattle like crazy, and if you had the volume up too much, it would rattle, and it just wasn't super crisp or clear. With this car though, it is really crisp, it's really clear. I really like how adjustable the bass and treble are, and that it feels more like a premium sound system that you'd find in a much nicer car. So yeah, overall, I've been really impressed with it and have been excited to listen to music in the car and really get back to enjoying that, because from the last car, I didn't listen to a ton of music because it wasn't great. The third thing I want to talk about is some aspects of the interior, and I'll put that asterisk on it because there are some things I don't love about it that I will cover in the 5 things I don't like about this car video, but there are a lot of aspects that I actually really enjoy. I love the thicker steering wheel. I've gotten quite used to the haptic buttons on the steering wheel itself. There was a lot of criticism that you'd accidentally be pressing the buttons by, putting your hand on a control, and you would accidentally activate something like the heated steering wheel or the adaptive cruise. Frankly, I just don't think that's true. You do have to press the buttons like a button. So if you just were to set your hand on, for example, the heated steering wheel button, it doesn't activate it. You have to press it in for it to activate. So I find that criticism to not be the most accurate. I love the ergonomics of things. The new screen in front of the driver is really crisp. There's a ton of options for displays. I really like the display that they designed the car around, which is the more traditional center tachometer that changes in color based on the ambient lighting on the inside color. The seats on the car are really cool. There are two different interior options on the GTI. There's the standard plaid tartan seat, which you'll find on the S and SE trim. And then there's also the full leather interior, which is really nice. It's optional on an SE and standard on the Autobahn. The leather interior does give you kind of these chalkish gray side bolsters, black seat centers with red accents and red stitching. I find that to be just a really cool interior that definitely brings it some character, because a lot of the cars in this price point and category are just a sea of black, just boring interiors. So it's nice to have something fun and a lot of character in this. I do also like some aspects of the technology that you interact with. The wireless phone charger that comes in these cars is accurate. You put your phone down and it just starts charging. You don't have to fine tune that centimeter of adjustment that most cars require that have wireless phone chargers. I love that in 2024, a new standard feature is the power folding mirrors. That's a nice little feature. The fourth thing I want to talk about is the styling of the GTI. I think that this car is beautiful. It kind of combines a combination of old and new. There's definitely this new aggressive styling, more Audi-esque, but also with the more traditional GTI badges that you found on GTIs of before. I really like the aggressive front end. I love the integrated fog lights in this lower grille, as well as for SE and higher trim, you do get this light bar that goes across the front that connects to the headlight. And I think that gives the car a really unique daytime running light signature. The GTI has always been a beautiful car. I've always liked these from the first one all the way to this latest gen. And you really can see the evolution that they've designed in the car and what they've taken and what they've changed. So I definitely think that it lives up to the name of the 911 of hot hatchbacks. For the fifth and final thing I wanted to talk about, although it's not applicable to me because I do have the DSG trim car, for 2024 in America, this is the last year to get a manual transmission car. They are calling the manual transmissions this year the 380 package. With 380, you do get the 19-inch all-black wheels from the Golf R, black mirror caps, and a black roof, as well as the adaptive suspension that you normally would only find on the Autobahn or the Golf R. I think there's a ton of value there for the enthusiast, because now no longer are you forced to get the Autobahn to get that adaptive suspension that most people really like on these cars. So I think for 2024, there's going to be a ton of value in getting a manual transmission. Overall, the 2024 Golf GTI has been a huge success for me. I've really enjoyed driving the car. I've been really happy with my purchase. I definitely haven't looked back at all and missed my previous car. Overall, the performance has been stellar. I've really enjoyed going up a winding mountain road in it, as well as commuting in it. I enjoy a lot of the technology in the car. There definitely are some things that I've had to get used to, but I wouldn't have let a lot of the criticisms talked about by a lot of the mainstream automotive journalists sway me from buying the car now that I own it myself. We're really excited to make some content on the car about the things we like, don't like, driving impressions, and inexpensive ways to improve the car in a lot of different ways. Thank you so much for watching our video. This is RS Insider. My name is Tanner.